Dear children, in the last episodes, my beloved friend Mr. William has described you about the question paper designed for prose and supplementary reading. In this session, I would like to present the question paper designed for poetry section and composition section. Listen very carefully and kindly make some notes. From poetry section, you will have 5 questions carrying 16 marks. 22nd question usually 2 mark question. 26th a 3 mark question. 30th usually an extract from the poetry section. 34th quote from memory, and the lastly 36th question, a 4 mark question, will be asked from the poetry section. Totally 5 questions, 16 marks. Dear children, you have 8 poems. Grandma climbs a tree, Quality of Mercy, I Am the Land, Song of India, Zaz Poem 2, Ballad of the Tempest, The Blind Boy, Off to Outer Space Tomorrow Morning. The first poem, Grandma Climbs a Tree. Usually, in almost all previous question papers, this poem is asked for 4 marks. We should concentrate on the main themes. Grandma was genius. How? What was her passion? What happened to her one day? How did her son fulfill her desire? You have to write answers in 8 to 10 sentences. Be very careful, and as you know, it is a very easy question. You will get 4 marks very easily. Try to summarize the poem in simple sentences and write very neatly. You will have 4 marks from this poem. The second poem is Quality of Mercy. As you know, it is prescribed for memorization. We should concentrate about this poem. In almost all previous question papers, this poem is asked for memorization. So, as you know, this poem contains less lines. So, we can make it by heart very easily. This poem carries 4 marks for memorization. Then the third poem is I Am the Land. This poem is written by Marina di Bellagenta. The land or the earth is the speaker here. This poem tells about the earth's patience. From this poem, we can expect questions carrying 2 marks, 3 marks, or 4 marks. Even an extract will also be asked from this poem. So, we must be very careful and read the poem line by line. Next one is Song of India. It is written by V.K. Gokak. The poet is the speaker here. The Mother India answers his questions. From this poem also, we can expect a 2 mark question or 3 mark question or 4 mark question. Even an extract may be asked from this poem. So, you must be very careful and make notes even for summary or extract questions also. Next one is Jazz Poem 2. It is a beautiful poem, describes about the pathetic conditions of the jazz musician. It also describes about the saxophone and his music. From this poem also, 2 mark, 3 mark, 4 mark, or even an extract also will be asked for. In last examination, August 2024 examination, a question for 2 marks is asked from this poem. How did the poet appreciate the jazz player's talent in music? Next poem is Ballad of the Tempest. Dear children, though it is prescribed for memorization, usually a question is asked for extracts or 2 marks, 3 marks or 4 marks. Usually this poem is not asked for memorization. Once again, I am informing you that usually this question is not asked for memorization from this poem. So there is no need to make it by heart, but be careful. A question will be asked from this poem for 2 marks or 3 marks or 4 marks. Even an extract also will be taken from this poem. So once again, I am going to remind you, my dear friends, there is no need of scratching head that it will be asked for memorization. Next poem is The Blind Boy. As you know, in almost all question papers, a question is asked for memorization. Question number 34. For 4 marks, a question will be for memorization. So make it by heart. You have some stanzas there and you have to make it by heart from first stanza to the last stanza. The last poem is Off to Outer Space Tomorrow Morning. This poem is about an astronaut's journey to outer space. His enthusiasm is described here. A 2 mark, 3 mark, 4 mark, or even an extract for 3 marks question will be asked. So be very careful. Last year there was a question for extract also. So dear children, I have explained 8 poems in very short. Once again, listen carefully. From Grandma Climbs a Tree, you will have a question for 4 marks. It's very sure. Summary. First poem is for summary. Second one, Quality of Mercy and Blind Boy. Question number 34. You will have a question for memorization from these poems. You will write one question. 2 options are there and you have to attend only one. So, rest of the poems, one is I Am the Land, Song of India, Jazz Poem 2, Ballad of the Tempest, Off to Outer Space. From these poems, you will have a 2 mark question or a 3 mark question or 4 mark question or even extracts also. We are very sure about grandma. quality of mercy, blind boy. But other than that, it is left to you, my dear friends. You have to ready for the any questions. Dear friends, now I am going to explain about composition section. Here you will have 7 questions and 24 marks. These questions are almost very easy and you can score very easily. Example, profile writing, 3 marks question. Story narration, 3 mark question. Picture reading, 3 mark question. Unseen passage, 4 mark question. Essays, 4 mark question. Letter writing, it is for 5 marks. And editing, you will have 2 marks. Very easily, you can score good marks from this section. I am going to take one by one. First one is profile rating, question number 31. Here, before beginning the profile, use these sentences. I am very glad to introduce Mr. Jagannath from Beltangadi. I am very happy. I am very glad to write about like these sentences you may use. Other techniques your subject teachers will inform you in your classrooms. You have to write in sentences very carefully, my dear friends. It's for expression. You have to write in your own sentences. You have free hand, but the matters, retake. The information is given to you, and seeing those information, you can write in your own sentences. So, a 3 mark question from profile writing. Next one is story narration, question number 32. You have to write a heading or caption to the story. After that, you may begin with once upon a time like that. You may add, it is a beautiful story. But at the ending, you may add these sentences. Thereafter, they lived happily, a good climax, a good ending. Dear friends, retake. Dear friends, kindly write moral here. This is very, very important. It also carries 3 marks and you can take 3 marks very easily. Next, question number 33. The question is asked for picture reading. It carries 3 marks. Yes, you will be given a picture. Seeing that picture, you have to describe, you have to explain about the picture. A picture speaks 1,000 words. This is a beautiful picture. You have to describe about the picture. As you know, there may be a number of themes in the pictures. You have to express yourself. What is the theme there? Seeing the picture, you have to write in few sentences. You will be given free hand. You have to express yourself in your own sentences. It carries 3 marks. Here also, you can take 3 marks very easily, my dear friends. Some techniques are there. Your class teacher or subject teacher will inform you in your classrooms. Question number 37. Essay. As you know, essay writing has become an integral part of our question paper. A question carrying 4 marks is asked for essay writing. Write an essay on any one of the following. In last August 2024 question paper, these 3 topics are asked. One is mobile and its uses, Chandrayaan 3, air pollution. So, almost every year a question or topic is selected from pollution, environmental pollution. Other than that, mass media, yoga, national festivals, national integration, mobile and its uses. Yes, there are many topics. My dear friends, it is also for your own expression. You have to express very freely. You have to construct the sentences. As you know, essay includes introduction, development, and conclusion. For introduction, you have to write 4 to 5 sentences. For development, you have to write 8 to 10 sentences. Conclusion also 4 to 5 sentences. Use quotations, phrasal verbs, and name some magazines. So your essay will become very rich. It is also a very easy question, my dear friends. 4 marks from this section. So you can easily bag 4 marks from this essay section, essay writing. Letter writing, 38th question. As you know, there are 2 types of letter writing, formal and informal. You will be taught the both formats. From formal letter writing, you will have from, date, to, respected sir or ma'am, subject, body of the letter, thank you, yours obediently, it's for the teachers or HM, or yours sincerely, yours affectionately, then the signature. But you have to read the question very carefully. There it is told to imagine you are someone, not yours identity to be disclosed here. You have to imagine someone. The names are given there. The school name is given there. Then you are instructed to write a letter. The last question paper here is a question. Imagine you are a Prakash or Priya studying in Government High School, Mahadevapura. Write a letter to your friend inviting him to attend your sister's birthday party. Or write a letter to the Panchayat Development Officer to provide concrete roads to your area. First one is informal letter to your friend. Second one is to the PDO. In the informal format, you address to father, sister, mother, brother, friends, relatives, etc. At the top, there will be sender's address and date. Then, dear father, dear mother, you will write like that. Body of the letter, that is very important. At the ending, you may use yours lovingly. Then you have to write the name, signature, which is mentioned in the question paper. Then receiver's address. Next one is unseen passage. Question number 35. Question number 35. Dear children, you will be given A passage, unseen passage. You have to read the passage very carefully. Usually, no direct questions asked here. You have to comprehend. You have to try to understand the passage. So, be relaxed. Read again and again. Try to understand and write the answers in 2 or 3 sentences. Be very careful and easily you can score 4 marks from this question. Dear friends, question number 17. Editing. Usually there will be 2 errors. For example, the following paragraph has 2 errors. Edit the paragraph and rewrite into the answer book. You have to write once again, rewrite. Dr. Sarabhai realized the importance of industries in India. He set up Sarabhai Chemicals, a pharmaceutical industry at Ahmedabad. Here, industry spelling at the end of the word there is I instead of Y. So, spelling mistake to be corrected, it should be industry. INDUSTRY. Second one is verbal mistake, realize. That means, dear friends, you have to read the sentences very carefully. You have to try to understand the tense form in the sentence. If there are more tense words in past tense, you have to convert the other verb form to the past tense. Here, other sentences are in past tense he set up. So, you have to convert realized to realized. It is past tense. It's already happened. It is about the past. Usually, they ask questions related to verbal mistake, punctuation marks, comma, question mark, full stop, inverted commas, like that. Capital letters, we must know where should we use the capital letters. Spelling mistakes, it is very important. Spellings are very, very important in English. So you must be very careful. We have to try to understand, try to find out the errors. And once again, I am reminding you, my dear friends, you have to rewrite it. That is clearly mentioned in the question paper. Edit the paragraph and rewrite it in the answer booklet. Dear friends, today I have taught you about the poetry section and composition section, the question paper design, how the question papers will be asked from these sections. So I think you have understood very clearly, and in the next session we will talk about your most important sections. Those are grammar and vocabulary. Thank you. next session. Dear children, in the last session, I had explained you about the poetry and composition sections. In this session, I would take you to the most important aspect of the question paper which you love most, that is grammar and vocabulary section. As you know, from this section you will have 16 questions carrying 16 marks. From the grammar section you will have 4 questions. Each question carry 1 mark. So 4 questions, 4 marks. From vocabulary section you will have 12 questions. So you will have 14, retake. You will have 12 marks. Each question carries 1 mark, and totally for 12 questions you will have 12 marks. So from grammar 4 marks, vocabulary 12 marks, 16 questions, 16 marks. From the question number 1 to 16 you will have questions related to these sections. Grammar points and vocabulary to be taught in the classrooms. The board has already released the grammar points to be taught. Tenses and correct form of the verb. Prepositions, conjunctions, articles, etc. Question tags, modals, language functions, voices, active voice and passive voice. Degrees of comparison, reported speech, if clauses of condition, infinitive, phrasal verbs, identifying the parts of speech, using words in sentences as noun and verb, punctuation, auxiliaries, using structures like to, so that not, collocations, syllabifications, one word answers, homophones, prefixes and suffixes, jumbled letters or jumbled words. Lastly, opposites. Now I will go one by one as per August 2024 question paper. The first question is multiple choice question. Choose the appropriate question tag and fill in the blank. She never comes to school late. Dear friends, this question is about question tag. Your teacher has already taught you about question tags. Positive sentences will have negative tag. Negative sentences will have positive tags. For example, Rachita eats mangoes. Eats. You have to identify the verb first. Eats is a verb here. Does plus eat. It is in simple present tense. The sentence is in positive sentence. There is no negative word. So, eats, does for. We have to write does. There is no negative word in the sentence. So, the tag must be in negative form. Not. N apostrophe T. Doesn't. For Rachita, we should use a pronoun. For nouns, we must use pronouns. Doesn't she. Instead of noun, we must use a pronoun. Here in the question paper, my dear friends, read very carefully. She never comes to school late. Here is a word used never. So, be careful, my dear friends. Never. No. Not. Hardly. Scarcely. Seldom. These words are negative words. It is equal to no, not. That means here she never comes to school late. It is in negative form. So the question tag will be, you have to identify the verb form first. Comes is verb here. Comes. Does plus come. So does. Then not is there in the sentence. Instead of not, never is there. So it becomes a positive tag. Does she is the answer. Another example to you, dear friends. Smita bit her lips. Bit. It becomes did plus bite. So did form is here. So question tag becomes did not or didn't. Did N apostrophe T. Didn't. Instead of Smita, she is used here. Didn't she. Okay. But here we must be very careful about negative words. 4 answers will be there. You have to choose the appropriate question tag. Multiple choice question. Actually, it is very easy one. Your teacher will teach you more about this question tag. Next one is infinitive. The question is like this. Read the following and choose the infinitive. Kalpana Chawla was a great astronaut. She was the first Indian-born woman to go into space. 4 options are here. Was, to go, bore. Dear friends, actually there are 3 types of infinitives. Bare infinitive, split infinitive, 2 infinitives. These will be taught in detail in your classrooms. Usually, for the question paper, this question will be asked from 2 infinitive only. 2 infinitive. Usually, we don't ask the question from bare infinitive or split infinitive. Only 2 infinitive. V5. Verb form, verb pattern, 5. V5. To before the root form of the verb. For example, to go, to eat, to jump, to cough, to call, like this. You must be very careful. Root form of the verb. To is used before root form of the verb. Okay. Next one, if clause. Actually, there are three conditions. Condition number 1, condition number 2, condition number 3. Here in the question paper, we ask the third condition only. The incident was already done, already happened. We can't make any change in it. The result is before us. We are just imagining that incident. For example, in the last question paper, they ask like this. Read the following conversation and fill in the blank choosing the most appropriate words. Nirmala. Hello Kumar, did you bring your mobile? Kumar. Oh no, sorry. Nirmala. It's okay. Kumar. If I had brought my mobile, we dash watched cricket match. Will have, shall have, wouldn't have, would have. If I had brought mobile, we, answer is, would have watched, possibility. I didn't bring mobile, so I couldn't watch the cricket match. Isn't it? It's already happened. There is no chance to change it, but just we are all trying to alter our imagination. That is all. Would have. Sometimes there will be question for wouldn't have also. Be very careful. Read the sentences again and again and you will understand. It is about the third condition of if clauses. Fourth question is from language function. Agreeing, requesting, disagreeing, offering help, giving advice or suggestions, giving directions, etc. Here also you will have dialogues. You have to read those dialogues, conversation, and you have to choose the most appropriate language functions for the underlined sentence. Sorry, I am busy with my work, so I can't attend. Sorry, I am busy with my work, so I can't attend. Here it is disagreeing. Language function is disagreeing. So, 4 questions from grammar section. For MCQs, you will have 4 marks from this section. Then I am moving towards vocabulary section. Question number 5 to 16. 12 questions are there. Each question carries 1 mark and totally you will have 12 marks from this section. 5th question. Syllables. We use a number of types to teach this topic. Chill method, usage of phonetic scripts, etc. You have to read aloud. For example, grass, grass. How many syllables are here? 1 syllable. Table, table. 2 syllables. Primary, primary. 3 syllables. Tree, 1 syllables. We have to read the questions very carefully, dear friends. Sometimes in the questions they might have used not. For example, which one of the following words has not 2 syllables? Okay, be careful. And I think you can get very easily but while answering, you must be very careful and you can take an easy mark. Next one is collocative word, collocations. Combine the word in column A with its collocative word in column B. There will be 2 sections, column A and column B. In column A, there will be one word, and in column B, you will have 4 words. You have to match. Actually, these words are used by the native speakers. Naturally goes with the other word and becomes a compound word. For example, homework, more appropriate. For example, rapid growth, rapid progress, rapid action. But here, rapid progress is more relevant, more appropriate. Collocations, naturally the word goes with the other word. In Kannada also, we sometimes use habba, haridina, like that. But in collocative words also, you must be alert, be careful, and very easy question from this section. Sometimes some brilliant students also make mistakes while answering this question. Be careful, read again and again. Try to understand which word goes naturally with the other word. 7th question, fill in the blank using the correct article. You know, there are 3 types of articles: zero article, definite article, and indefinite article. Vowel letters 5, consonant letters 21. In the English alphabet, there are 26 letters, but sounds, vowel sounds, there are 20. Consonant sounds are 24. Indefinite article. For vowel sounds, we must use an. For consonant sounds, you should use a. A university. A European, ya. A European. A university, ya. An MLA, M, A. It is not yum, it is yem. Yem, yem, yen, h. The correct pronunciation. An RP. You know about definite articles where we use those. For example, for unique things, for channels, bridges, dams, epics. Yes, you know that one. Your teacher will teach you in detail where we should use the article, definite article, and indefinite articles, an and a. A question will be asked from this topic, articles. Next one is linker. Linker. Linker is nothing but conjunction. You have to join 2 sentences using appropriate linker. Nandan scored more marks in the exam dash he had studied well. Nandan scored more marks in the exam because he had studied well. Justification. Why he scored well? Because, yes, he had studied well. But, and, or, although, or though, because, neither nor, so that not, who, which, when. Yes, there are many linkers. How to study these linkers? Dear friends, you have a beautiful textbook, second language English textbook. Try to underline the linkers in your textbook. You will understand which one is linker. Why is such linker used there? So, almost if you study your textbook very carefully, you can easily score 1 mark from this section, linker section. Then next I am moving to preposition, preposition, preposition. On, in, at, by, of, to, for, with, over, across. These prepositions are asked again and again in the question papers. If there is date, you have to write on 2011 2024. If there is year, you should use in 2024. If there is time, 9 a.m. at 9 a.m. Here also, I suggest you, my dear friends, to read your textbook very carefully and underline the prepositions, so you can understand where we should use prepositions carefully. I go to school by walk. Like this. You will have 1 mark from this topic, preposition. Next, I am moving to tense form of the verb, appropriate tense form of the verb. Appropriate tense form. You have to write the tense form. Read the sentences very carefully. Try to find out the tense, whether it is in present tense, past tense, or in future reference, etc. Have forms and be forms should be known. You know be forms: am, is, are, was, were, be, been, being. Have forms: has, have, had. If there is only a root form, there is no need of adding have forms or be forms. You can write easily whether it is in does form, do form, did form. For example, Jayant dash in bracket narrate, N-A-R-R-A-T-E, narrate the story in the class yesterday. You have to underline the word yesterday here. Yesterday it is in past tense. Narrate, V0, it is in root form. You have to change the root form to did form or past tense, simple past tense, narrated. It is very important. You have to understand. You have to mark. You have to mark the words which indicate tenses. So that is very, very important, my dear friends. Okay. If there are be forms, if they have given be plus narrate, it may be am, is, or, was, were. But the sentence is in past tense, yesterday. So Jayant, for Jayant, you should use in past tense was only. Subject is in singular form. Jayant was. Like that. Okay. Be careful, my dear friends. It is also one type of question asked for writing the appropriate tense form of the verb. Next, parts of the speech. You know the 8 parts of speech: noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, interjection. Example, we are watching an important match. They have underlined the word important. It qualifies. It describes about the word match. So, adjective. She is very beautiful. Very. It is an adverb. So, 8 parts should be learnt very carefully. A question will be asked from this topic, parts of speech. Then 12th question, correct form of the word. Form of the word. We have learnt correct form of the verb. Now we are going to correct form of the word. A noun form or an adjective form may be asked here. depending upon the sentence, we have to write correct form of the word. For example, Rachita is a dash in bracket beauty bracket close actor. Beauty, beautiful actor. Like that. Usually here noun is asked or an adjective is asked. Be careful. Read the sentences again and again. Try to write other forms of the word. For example, success, successful, beauty, beautiful, wise, wisdom, like that. So you can write. Dear friends, next one is very easy one. Use the word as a noun or verb in your own sentence. It also carries 1 mark. Subject verb agreement. Example, walk as a noun. Use the word walk as a noun. Easily we can write like this. Walk is a word in English language. That's all. Walk is a word in English language as a noun. Firstly, we have to understand the question whether they have asked for noun or verb. Yes, if it is noun, usually that word comes at the beginning of the sentence. Walk. If it is in verb, use the word walk as a verb. I walk slowly. I walk to market. Like that. So, it is for framing own sentences. Then, degrees of comparison. Degrees of comparison. There are 3 degrees, you know. Positive degree, comparative degree, superlative degree. Big, bigger, the biggest. For example, Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world. The highest. Superlative degree. Mount Everest is higher than any other peak in the world. Higher than. Higher than. Here is a comparison between Mount Everest and other peaks. So, comparative degree. No other peak in the world is as high as Mount Everest. As high as. It is in positive degree. There are 3 degrees. I think you have already learned those. One question will be asked for degrees, changing another degree, changing the sentence to another degree. For good, good, it becomes better, then best, the best. Bad becomes worst, the worst. Be careful. Okay. Next, question number 15th. Voices. Active voice and passive voice. Be forms to be studied. I becomes me in passive voice. We becomes us. You becomes you. He becomes him. She, her, it, they, them. I ate apples. Apples. Apples were eaten by me. Apples were. Be form is used here. Eaten. We3. Participle. That is very important here. In passive forms, you use participles. We3. Verb pattern 3. Apples were eaten by me. It is question number 15 in the question paper, August 2024. Here, one question is asked. Scientists launched a satellite. Launched a satellite. A satellite was launched by scientists. Satellite was launched by scientists. The active voice should be converted to passive voice in all tense types. Your teacher will help you in this regard. As you know, there are 12 tenses. For almost all tenses, you can convert active voice to passive voice. 1 mark is for changing to voices, changing to passive voice. Next one is about reported speech. In that speech, reported speech, there are 4 kinds of sentences. You know, declarative, imperative, interrogative, exclamatory. 4 types. This reported speech should be taught according to the types of sentences. For declarative sentences, that is used in interrogative sentences, WH questions. We don't add any word there. For yes or no questions, we add whether or if. For imperative sentences, we add to. It becomes infinitive, to. And for exclamatory sentences, we use that once again. But here you must be very careful. Simple past becomes past perfect. Simple. Who killed the tiger? Who had killed the tiger? Past continuous becomes past perfect continuous. Be careful. Direct speech and reported speech. I becomes he or she. We becomes they, you. It becomes they. Yesterday becomes the previous day. Tomorrow becomes the next day, like that. Your teacher will inform you in detail. Next, to, so that not. Rachita is too weak to walk. Rachita is so weak that she cannot walk. To, so that not. It is also very important. Very easy one. You can understand very easily. A question will be asked from this topic also. Homophones, dear, D-E-R, D-E-A-R, C, sun, S-O-N, S-U-N, tire, like that. No. Questions will be asked from homophones also. From prefixes and suffixes also, you may have a question. Be prepared. Unimportant, inactive, dislike, non-violence, ignoble, illegal. Prefixes. Suffixes. Help, helpless, use, usable, happy, happily. Questions will be asked from opposites also. Good, antonym bad, happy, sad, beautiful, ugly, like that. Opposites. Then jumbled sentences or jumbled words. For example, L-I-R-G. It becomes meaningful word girl, G-I-R-L. Or jumbled words. Leave, /I/London /in. I live in London. Jumbled letters or jumbled words. Make into me. You have to convert those jumbled letters into meaningful word or jumbled words into a meaningful sentence. Then finite and infinite verbs. Usually V1, verb pattern 1, verb pattern 2, which carries tenses, becomes finite verbs. Which verb forms have no tense forms. V0 or root form, V3, V4, V5. These are called as infinite verbs. Dear friends, as we can't tell in detail, we have scarcity of time. I have explained you in prescribed time. Your teacher will tell you in detail, but I have explained in session about the question paper design for grammar and vocabulary. I appreciate your patience. I thank you all for giving me a beautiful opportunity to come in front of you. I wish a good luck to you, and I hope we will score out in second language English. Thank you once again. Thank you all. ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು 10 ನಿಮಿಷದ್ದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನೀವು ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ.